Well, everyone, you might be trying to figure out what are the worst iPhones that you could possibly buy in 2024. Now, this is a multi-part story. There's not just one iPhone that's the worst one of all time. I would always say the iPhones that are no longer supported with software are iPhones I would no longer recommend buying. So these are basically, iPhones like the iPhone, 1 all the way up until the iPhone, 10, 8 Plus. Those particular iPhones, the higher you go in that, group of iPhones, the less worse it is. But I wouldn't really recommend purchasing any iPhones like that. Those are the ones I'd recommend completely avoiding for the most part. But we all kind of know that. There's another group of iPhones I would highly be cautious of purchasing unless you really know what you're doing. Any sort of broken or faulty or any iPhones like that are in that specific ballpark in the used market, even iPhones that maybe have, had some water damage but still work fine, unless you know what you're doing and unless you have a really deep discount for those particular devices, you are so much better off buying an iPhone that is at least in better condition or has some Apple Care coverage or, maybe isn't completely, outdated or something like that. If you're buying these broken iPhones and you don't know what you're doing, you can get stung really bad because a lot of those are sold as is. So you definitely want to be careful of those. Another group of iPhones that if you can kind of avoid are basically the bad deals. So these are iPhones that are essentially, good iPhones like the iPhone 10 or above. And these are iPhones that, essentially are still working and everything, but they're just kind of bad deals when it comes down to it. Meaning if you're buying an iPhone 10R for $400, that is not a good deal at all. And if you're buying an iPhone 10R, let's say with 256 gigabytes, or you're buying an iPhone 10s at 512 or 256, whatever the max, storage variant is, if you're spending a lot of money or a lot more money for that type of device, that doesn't really make much sense. I don't really see too many of these iPhones being sold anymore, but still I might see an iPhone 11 that's being sold for 512 or 256 gigabytes for $500 plus. That doesn't make any sense. And the more expensive of an iPhone you buy or the newer you get, the weirder it becomes. Because the jump from an iPhone 12 at 64 gigabytes, that was the base model iPhone you could buy at that storage variant. Then you jump up to the iPhone 13, those ones were 128. So if you only need 128 gigabytes of storage, you can just go ahead and buy an iPhone 13 and probably even save some money than buying the iPhone 12 at 128 at that specific standpoint. So take it as you will, but that is just another example from that particular standpoint as well. So those are just a few different iPhones in my opinion that are possibly some of the worst iPhones you could possibly pick up. Again, buy iPhones that are currently supported. Do not buy iPhones that are completely outdated. And that's basically the main thing to keep in mind there. So that pretty much covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.